So one of the few things, well, one of the many things, right, that I've always been thankful for, like from the time I was young, is the fact that I was raised by a man. Me being raised by a man, like you have no idea just how beneficial that can be for a young man. And one thing about me, like there's never a situation where I can't talk about my pops. There's never going to be a time, a place, venue, whatever I can't talk about my pops. You know what I'm saying? My pops, he's been my everything. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Like he is the man who showed me how to be a man. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing of it is growing up, me and my pops, it's funny because we didn't talk a lot. Talking and hugging and kissing and all the affectionate things, like we didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now don't get me wrong, even as a child, I knew my pop loved me. You understand what I'm saying? But there wasn't a lot of communication. I was big in the sports and things of that nature. I was in the boxing, baseball, basketball, football, like you name it, I was into it. You know what I'm saying? My pops love fishing. I hate fishing. To this day, I hate fishing. Just sitting out there with a reel, just doing nothing for hours on end, not for me. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But one thing about my pops is that although we didn't talk a lot, he communicated through action. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was young, like my pops, he would do literally anything to make sure that me and my sister had food in our belly and clothes on our backs and a roof over our head. Like whatever he needed to do, he did it. You know what I'm saying? He worked a full-time job. I remember he used to collect cans. He would strip copper wire and sell it. And I remember one time he had like a part-time gig where he would clean the offices and things downtown. And so it was funny because he would take me along with him, and we would be in the offices and this, that, and the third, dumping the trash and things of that nature. And it was cool, you know what I'm saying? But he would bust wood, he would chop wood, he would sell wood. I mean, anything he had to do to make sure we had, he did it. And the biggest thing about my pops to this day is he never complained. He never complained. He never complained about the situation. He went out and he got it done. And it spoke volumes to me, especially as I became older, because once I'm of age, and the thing about me and my pops is once I became of age, once I got grown, that's when he and I actually started communicating. That's when he and I actually started talking like on a man-to-man level. And it was just like, that's what he was waiting for. I learned more about my pops like maybe 2 years after I graduated high school than I had known my entire life. And it was funny because that's when I realized just how much like him I was, and but again, he led by actions. He was a man of few words, but he spoke volumes in his actions. He spoke volume. He taught me how to treat a woman by how he treated my mother. That wasn't, we never talked about the birds and the bees. We never did any of that. But he taught me through what he did. And that's why to this day there's not another man on the planet that would ever compare to him. Like he's been the one person throughout my entire life I've ever strived to be like, because he's just such a good man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the ultimate compliment you can give any man, is that you're a good man. A righteous man, a man of character, a man that would stand on business, a man that would take care of his family, a man that would get out in them streets and do whatever he need to do to make sure his children had. That was my pops. That's my pops. So It will behoove you to think that at no point in time I'm ever not gonna give my pops credit. Any chance I get to big him up, I do it. Because I got nothing but absolute love for that man. Because he didn't have to. That's the thing. He didn't have to. He didn't have to stick around with me and my sister. He could have bounced. He could have did this. He could have did that. But he wanted a family. And with that came the knowledge and the understanding that whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And he never complained. A day in his life, he never complained. I never heard my pops complaining about this, that, and the third. When he wasn't feeling good, he still went out there and he chopped wood. When he wasn't feeling good, when he was tired, when his back was hurting, this, that, and the third, whatever he had to do, he did it. And he always had such a righteous nature about himself. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount that he taught me by just being in my space is unmeasurable. I cannot measure the things that I've learned from him. Everything that I have good that's in me, I got from him. And again, I'm not saying these things don't exist, but I never heard my pop talk about racism. I never heard my pops talk about white supremacy and things of that nature, because it didn't matter. It exists, but it didn't matter because he had to do what he had to do. He had that warrior's mindset, that warrior's mentality. He wasn't soaked in victimhood and things of that nature. Whatever he needed to do, he did it. Without question. Because that's my pops. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I've always been so thankful for him. Because I got a lot of homeboys. I know a lot of homeboys that didn't have fathers. You know, or the ones that had, some of them may have been strung out, some of them, you know what I mean? And so you have to be mindful at how blessed you are with the things that you have in your life. It may not be much, but you have others that would kill to have what you have. And it just keeps things into perspective. I'm thankful for my pops. The way I move out here in this world now is because of him. The things that I've been able to deal with and overcome, I've had to overcome sleeping in my car, sleeping at the park. I've had to overcome depression. I've had to overcome the thoughts of just checking out. All the dark days that I've had, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to overcome because my foundation was solid. You know what I mean? So this notion that you don't need a 2-parent household, or you don't need a man and a woman to raise a child. I get if your circumstances dictate that. But there are more benefits to having that man in your child's life. Even if y'all don't rock together anymore, this, that, and the third. Like, what a child can learn from a man that's about business cannot be measured. It can't be measured. And that is my whole point. Again, this is just me having conversations. I'm able to just voice how thankful I am that I was raised by a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that there are a lot of young men and a lot of men out here who weren't raised by a man. And it shows in situations all over the internet and people that I come across in my daily life. I see it. I see it. My pops was a man. He was a man. You understand? And so again, all the benefits that come with that, knowing how to handle adversity, understanding that complaining does nothing but waste time, understanding that there's nothing wrong with getting hit and falling down, but you can't stay there. You got to get back up because no one's going to help you. So what's the alternative? To stay there or to get up and continue to move forward? That's why it's important for children to have a male figure in their life. If you have any capacity or ability to raise your child with a male influence. Yo, it just creates a solid foundation. There are a lot of women out here having to do it on their own, and I get it. Big up to you. I understand. But if you can help it, there's nothing more valuable than having that male influence. And I'm talking about a man who is about man business. A man that is about man business. Like I've stated before, time and time again, we not doing victims over here. You know what I mean? Go out there and make it happen. By any means necessary, go out there and make it happen. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But it's not. You understand? So I want to take this time because, again, we're going to have a lot of conversations on this channel. And if you digging it, if you can relate, yo, like, subscribe, do the whole 9. But I'm telling you, we got to get back to just foundational conversations, common sense conversations. This notion that your child doesn't need a man is wild. And you're doing your child a disservice. You're doing your child a disservice. So at the end of the day, man, big up, Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, big up to you, bro. Because who would I be without you? You know what I mean? And until the next time.